This is C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian and Citizen Advocate. I will be playing one particular thing that I heard on The View. And I'm going to say that Whoopi Goldberg, who is known for many movies, even before she was added into Star Trek The Next Generation, has put shame to her character that she played on The Next Generation. She put shame to the franchise of Star Trek in general. She put shame to the whole aspect of a true positive future for the American people, and that's including, of course, Star Trek fans. Yes, there's going to be a bit of bias in anything that we do, or even talk about, or even believe, and there's going to be, shall we say, skepticism, depositions, emotional, psychological feelings, and accusations and such like that, right? But the one thing is, as C.R.P.H.A here has said many times, that the liberals have lost their way. The liberal Democrats have lost their way. The Republicans have not lost their way. The liberal Democrats used to be about the American people and this country. They used to be about defending and protecting the American people in this country, and benefiting the American people and this country and our youth. But they've gone more than sour. They've gone more than hateful, with the aspect that they won't admit it's their actions, it's the liberals' actions, that why we're dealing with this so-called pandemic, the so-called actual regular pandemic, when it's really politically motivated by the liberals. I will be possibly doing another video right after the day after the debate, the first debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But the one thing, Boehner did not do what Nancy Pelosi's been doing, even though he did not agree with Obama. He did not do what Nancy Pelosi has done to Trump. The bills that Obama put through, Boehner made sure they went through. The bills that Trump wanted to put through, Nancy Pelosi viciously and stupidly and sinfully and illogically blocked them. See, there's a difference between the two parties now. The American Boehner knew what a percentage of what the American people wanted, even though he knew that the other part of the percentage, the larger part of the percentage, was not for what Obama was trying to do, because what Obama was trying to do was something for the party, not for the American people. Biden's not any different than Obama. Biden would be only doing things only for the party. He will never do anything for the people. In fact, I saw a commercial that may even repeat itself. As you know, that I've mentioned that that Biden plans to destroy the Social Security Administration, which would put everybody who receives income from Social Security would be out in the street. He also, and you also know that we've said that Biden thinks that he will be able to defend against unforeseen attacks. In logic and reality, you cannot do that. There's no possible human, realistic, logical way you would be able to determine the unforeseen attacks that would be coming towards the United States, or any part of the United States for that matter. Biden's commercial also says that for new home buyers, they're going to be offering home loan benefits. That's a load of shit. He said he's been saying if Biden becomes president, he will make sure that the vaccine is put out sufficiently and appropriately and all this other stuff. Okay, what happens? What about being tested professionally and logically? He didn't mention that because he knows he doesn't plan to have it tested where it doesn't negatively affect the American people internally inside the human body. When it comes to employment, he plans to he's manipulating the American people and believe in this shit by thinking that there's still going to be employment, even more so under Biden. That's his manipulative bullshit. And in the base of increased pay in some fields. In addition, he wants to mentally manipulate the American people in thinking that he's not going to destroy Social Security. In fact, the retirees and the newly retired and currently retired and the soon to be retired will have a pay increase. Mental manipulation is a sin, Biden. Mental manipulation is a mortal spiritual sin, Joe Biden. Joe Biden knows that he's going to completely dismantle the Social Security Administration, which would again put every person, even the mentally disabled, diagnosed disabled, and also the born disabled, the mentally and physically handicapped within the disabled population, out in the street. They will not be able to pay their rent. They will not be able to pay their mortgage. They will not be able to pay their bills or do grocery shopping because of Biden's stupidity. Including last night, I heard Biden say that Trump is not that smart. Interesting, Biden. Biden knows that Trump has more than successfully made a name for himself, not only in the aspect of business and family, but also in the entrepreneurship, on the aspect of benefiting the American people that even work for him, and that also have done like for example when he became president, not even Obama was able to exceed this or even do this. In fact, Obama didn't even plan to. In fact, Trump finished everything in a very short amount of time that benefited this country and that benefited the American people and our youth all in one in a very, very short amount of time. Better than any other president in any other two parties. And a lot quicker and a lot swifter. So Biden, the only one that's not smart here is you, Biden. Chuck Schumer is very, very confident that Biden will not play what he claims to be Trump game the games of Trump. Yet it is Biden that will be playing the fucking games in tonight's debate. It is Biden that will try to sway Trump to play his cards. It is Biden who will deceive the American people even more. It is Biden who will mentally manipulate the American people even more. Even the one of the feminist females of The View that even outrightly put her hatred and dislike and dismay against Trump even before he was elected in 2016. She once again said the very sinful phrase, God willing. ABC should get her out of The View. If ABC doesn't, ABC will have a harder time to get any recognition that's positive. And with the fact that Whoopi Goldberg has her own disillusions of Trump and dislike of Trump, she better also change she better change her tune or get the hell out of the viewing of TV on The View. Because that shows both of those two women on The View are for and about socialism, for and about the American people having no rights, no freedoms, not the true positive America way of life, the positive things for our youth, the positive things for the American people, where there's more than a lack of jobs, more than a lack of employment opportunities, and they are in support of that everybody who is on Social Security will not be able to survive, will be out in the fucking street. It's all well and good to voice your opinions, but the two idiot feminist women on The View have done it in such a un-American way, in a very disrespectful way, in an ungodly, sinful way and manner. Chuck Schumer thinks that that the American people are on the Democrat side. He's more delusioned than he believes, than he even really thinks. He doesn't think that he's delusional. He is delusional. He believes his own lies and deception and mental manipulation that the Democrats have done towards the American people. Biden does not intend to defend and protect the American people. Biden does not intend to do a damn thing positive for our youth. Biden does not intend to do anything positive for the senior citizens and the developmentally diagnosed disabled and the physically and mentally disabled citizens. Biden does not intend to make sure that the vaccine is properly, logically tested and professionally tested to where it doesn't negatively harm the American people, even from within the human body. Biden does not intend to make sure that there's more jobs and better pay in any industry within any part of the business world. Biden does not intend to do any of the things that even Chuck Schumer thinks that he will convince the American people of. The only one that intends to do many things positive continuously for the American people is Trump. The only one that will defend and protect the American people logically and truthfully and without a doubt, even in the spiritual, constitutional sense, Trump. The only one that does not intend to destroy the Constitution, the Republicans, conservative and regular. The only ones that do plan to completely dismantle and destroy and rip to shreds the Constitution of this country is the Democratic Party. It was also said that when Hillary was about to be going in for the aspect of president, that it was said that she planned to take out the Fourth Amendment. And like I said, American people, I used to support Hillary when her husband Bill Clinton was our president. When it came to the educational system and things for our younger youth through the public broadcasting stations, like KQED and such like that. But now she's gone. Then like many years later, she's gone more than sinister, more than un-American. She wanted to completely fuck with the Constitution. Like I said, you fuck with the Constitution, you dumbass Democrats, you fuck with me. And you will lose. The liberals know they don't intend to do anything positive for the American people in this country and our youth, all in one. The liberal Democrats, even Chuck Schumer knows that the liberal Democrats don't plan to do anything positive for the American people and our youth and this country all in one. They know also they don't intend to do anything that even Biden promises. It's all a mind manipulative act, and they want the American people to believe their lies just so they can grab at the golden rod being the White House and have more corrupt control over us and our rights and everything we do and do not do in the base of socialism and all in favor of socialism. And socialism is not a positive thing. Socialism is like the Hitler regime, to where everything had to be done the way the government wanted it. And if the people didn't, then they'd be put in concentration camps. or shot. Biden knows that even without the supplemental security system, that nobody would be able to retire. Not even the soon to be retired, not even the newly retired within this time frame, especially. Many of who would be in the newly and soon to be retired would be out in the street, just like every other person that's been receiving supplemental security income of SSDI, SSA, and SSI incomes would be taken away from us, taken away from the American people and the retired, newly retired, and soon to be retired under Biden. I'm going to play something for you, ladies and gentlemen. Something that Chuck Schumer is bullshitting the American people more about.
Yes, the New York Times report revealing that President Trump only paid $750 a year in income taxes in 2016 and 2017 has been quite the bombshell. Trump refused to release his taxes, though, last time, even though there were a lot of questions surrounding them. And people voted for him anyway. We had Senator Cruz on yesterday, and he said that people that he's spoken to, his constituents, don't really care about it. Is it going to make any difference, do you think, this time?
Yeah, I think it will make some. I was just before I came here on The View, was at a hospital in Brownsville, East New York, one of the poorer sections. And I asked the people there, little clerical workers, nurses, hospital workers, some community folks, how many of you paid more taxes than Donald Trump? They all raised their hands and rolled their eyes. It has a granularity to it, and then you got to ask, he owes $500 million to whom, and what is he going to do for them? So I think the actual specifics now may hurt him more than the fact that previously he just said he wouldn't release his returns.
And Senator, it's Martha again. President Trump has spent months talking about voter fraud, casting doubt on the legitimacy of the election process. He's recently made reference to the Supreme Court or Congress potentially settling the election, both of which would seem to give him a numbers advantage. Do you have faith that this will be a truly fair and democratic election?
Well, we're working hard to see that it is. We have a very good lawyer, Mark Elias, who is doing case after case and state after state to make sure that things will be all right. He's winning most of his cases, even with Republican judges. But I would say this, Martha, the best way to ensure that Donald Trump can't muck around with the election, which we know he'd want to do, is vote. Vote, 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 and vote early. And if Donald Trump loses by a significant amount, he will not be able to mess around with the elections.
So are you prepared, however, to accept the results regardless of which way it turns out?
Well, if it's a fair election, obviously, and what I'm hopeful of, Martha, is that Donald Trump will lose by so much that he can't even try. Let's hope that's true, and I urge people who don't want to vote for Donald Trump, get out there and vote early.
Now, Senator Ted Cruz was here yesterday, and he put the blame for the lack of a coronavirus relief package squarely on Democrats, saying they were refusing to cut a deal. Now, we've heard this kind of back and forth for months now, with nothing getting done, while unemployment continues to sit above 8%. Is there any hope that relief is on the way?
Yeah, there is some hope, but not because of Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is one of the people who said he wanted $0 for corona relief. And the only reason he voted for that tiny, what I call the emaciated Republican bill, is they put in a provision that he wanted, which allowed rich people to get a full tax deduction, tax credit when they put their kids in private school. So he is wrong. But we're fighting hard, Nancy and I, to get an agreement. We've come down from our $3.4 trillion, which we think is what is really needed, given the enormity of this crisis, to 2.2. We hope the Republicans will now come
faster, Chad.
We might get something done.
All right. Thanks to Senator Chuck Schumer. That was pretty good.
See the lies and deception that Schumer's spouting out? He has become so disillusioned with what he says that he thinks that the American people will agree with him. He thinks that the American people are so brain dead idiot, so much of brain dead idiots that they'll believe even what Schumer and Nancy Pelosi have been saying. I mentioned that on my late night short message video that I would mention also the commercials, and I just did mention the commercials of Joe Biden, even the one that says, "Now let me make this perfectly clear." Let me make this perfectly clear, and the bullshit he spouts out there. Biden, you cannot say let me make this perfectly clear when you are not in the White House, nor will you ever be in the White House ever again. That of what you heard is ultimately a load of horse bucky. In fact, I will put it on my Facebook page for you to listen to.
Yes, the New York Times report revealing
And here we go.
$50 a year in income taxes in 2016 and 2017 has been.
Let's see, here we go. I'm going to put it on there right now. Do you realize, American people, that each and every thing that even Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi have said, they've gone back on, much like Obama did? Biden's just gonna repeat the same shit, the same disillusioned lies, deception, mind manipulation, even in the campaign, even in the debate. He's gonna make it sound so positive and so true that Biden will think that has no chance of losing, when really he is going to lose. It is, like I said before, because of what Nancy Pelosi did when it came to the impeachment inquiry against Trump, when he didn't do a damn thing a damn thing wrong, and he didn't do a damn thing that was unbecoming of a president, and he didn't do a damn thing that was against the Constitution. It was just a far cry of childlike attitudes from the Democratic Party. We lost, so we're gonna do this, and we believe the American people are gonna believe us and side with us. Much like Chuck Schumer thought that the American people will side with them. Still, they are in the aspect of delusion, non-reality. the basic fact is, as as everybody has even told me, that in today's generation, if John F. Kennedy was to be in considered anything within the two parties, he would have been mostly considered a Republican. I can see that, actually. That puts the liberal Democrats to shame now, doesn't it? What the liberal Democrats don't really get also is that it doesn't. We're not concerned with the personal financial things of and about Trump or any candidate. That's not our focal point. But yet the liberal media wants us to believe with that will determine what type of president and person the candidate being Trump is and will be even as commander in chief. No, the liberal media of ABC, KOVR 13, CBS, NBC, of KCRA 3, Cron 4, Channel 7 KGO, any of the other liberal stations, news and talk shows, even Meet the Press. It doesn't matter to the American people what the personal financial things are for the one particular candidate and who is Trump at this point, as well as any other candidate, even in the years past. What matters is what the president truly is going to do for this country and for the American people and our youth, and the defense and protection of this country and our and the American people, and being the American citizens and our youth, and the future, the positive, bright future for this country as well as for the American people and our youth all in one. It doesn't matter what the candidate's personal financial things are or may have been even in years past. Hell, even Biden knows this. Trump knows this. Chuck Schumer has said that there's a lot of uh, dismay and hate in voiced by Trump. Wait a minute. I thought this was the country of freedom of speech. That even the president himself has a freedom to say and voice how he feels about the media, the outright lies and deceptive bullshit that's being voiced by the Democrats, especially even about Trump. in accordance with the Constitution, it does not state that even a president cannot voice how they feel or what they want to say or what they're allowed to say, even towards the media or even about the media or the person in general. It's not a personal attack towards the American people at all. But the liberal Democrats want you to believe just because Trump said something so-called heinous and illogical, mean, and so-called sinful, as if he has no right to voice how he personally feels. But it's okay for the Democrats to say what they personally feel. It's not a one-sided thing, Chuck Schumer. It's not a one-sided thing, Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. So the American people know that we have a right to voice what we want, when we want, and how we want, and even with the information that we have compiled within us. And so can Trump. So can every other candidate before him. So Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and the liberal idiot Democratic media through ABC, NBC, and beyond, and also the CNN and Meet the Press. You have no room, even in accordance with the Constitution, to judge and to put blame and negative accusations towards a person that also has the fucking freedom of speech, freedom and rights to say how and what he feels about the media or anything else, even about the opposing party. The opposing party has done that left and right. The Democratic Party has done that left and right, and the Democratic Party has done that even before and during the politically motivated by the Liberal Democratic Party of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, as disillusioned and as non-realistic as the Liberal Democratic Party is, they have no right to say what should be and should not be done and is more than appropriate and what is not. They are not the rulers of all. The Democratic Party, even Chuck Schumer himself, is not the rulers of all. Nancy Pelosi is not the rulers of all. She cannot call the shots either. Obviously, the liberal Democrats think that anything and everything that the liberal Democratic Party says, the American people will side with and believe and agree with. How disillusioned are you, Chuck Schumer? How delusional are you, Chuck Schumer? How delusional is the Democratic Party, and who I've called and who has been also known as the Socialist Liberal Democratic Party? They're in their own little reality and expects the American people will be in the same reality. Even in thought and belief and the base and levels of understanding, to the points of agreeing with the liberal dumbass Democratic Party. You know what that does you know what that says to the American people, Chuck Schumer? That you don't have faith or confidence or belief or trust in even the spiritual way to and for the American people. And you don't believe that the American people are so intelligent. You think that you and your party, along with the liberal idiot bitch Nancy Pelosi, are more intelligent than the American people. If you believe that you sin, Chuck Schumer, and if Nancy Pelosi believes that she sins heavily as well, if Joe Biden continuously believes that, along with his mentally manipulative bullshit commercials of promising shit that he knows he won't do and he doesn't truly intend to do, in fact, with what I've already mentioned on this piece of paper, and he truly intends to do, which is not a beneficial thing for the American people at all. The one thing that I mentioned that he does intend to do, and that is to dismantle the Social Security Administration, which will put everybody on that income, and that will be eventually on that income out on the street, homeless. Which means the homeless population, along with our veterans, will increase. It will not decrease. As I've said, Biden has not even put anything in face value of what would be more than beneficial and in action to replace the Social Security Administration and the where we still receive an income to where we'd be able to be independent under that same base of income. That's also beneficial for the American people as well as the disabled, diagnosed disabled, mentally and physically disabled and handicapped. And yet he wants people to believe all the other shit that he promises that he will do that he doesn't truly intend to do, which is another Obama, by the way. Obama promised a lot of shit. He didn't do any of it. When the Supreme Court got the case of when it came to the Obama care, in which bankrupt a good percentage of the population in this country, or even nearly bankrupt as well. They turned that damn thing into a tax. Obama wasn't too pleased with it. Interesting. It's not really about what the politician should or should not be pleased with. Because if it doesn't benefit the American people and our youth and this country in general, then basically Obama had no room to voice his displeasure because he knew that it was only beneficial for the party, not for the American people. But he didn't want to pass that law, that truth on. He wanted to show his his aspect of not being so pleased as if it was a beneficial thing for the American people that was completely disfigured or or basically where the Supreme Court did something wrong against the American people when they didn't. If Whoopi Goldberg and the one that said God willing wants to talk with me, come on, I'll talk with you. I'll tell you straight up what's the truth between the two parties and what's not. You're so gung ho for socialism, aren't you? Women on The View. You're so gung ho for the Democrats to win to where our rights and freedoms are taken away, aren't you, women on The View? You're so gung ho for this country to be completely destroyed and filled with corruption and weakened, aren't you, women on The View? You may say that you're not, but basically, when the woman said, God willing, that shows you don't give a damn about what is more beneficial for the American people and what is not. You just want to act like you know what's best for the American people and what is not, as if the American people will side with you, regardless of gender, especially. You think you have all the information just because you're connected to an affiliate station that has a news media that is in support of the liberal Democrats. And the liberal Democrats used to be, and I do mean used to be, in support, positive, logical support to and for the American people and this country. But yet they've gone a complete opposite. The liberal Democrats have gone against the American people, against this country, against our youth, and fed the American people nothing but full amounts of deception, lies, and mind manipulative bullshit. So much so that they believe it themselves. They think that the American people are dumbed down enough to where they'll believe it as well. In hindsight and every other aspect, you idiot women on The View are given more and more reasons, and so is Chuck Schumer, given more and more reasons, and so is Nancy Pelosi, is given more and more reasons to vote Trump. The American people know that Trump is the best person for the job. The American people want what's best for our children, being America's youth. The American people want more employment opportunities. The American people do not want corruption. The American people don't want to be manipulated and lied to and deceived. The American people want a brighter, better future for them as well as our youth, being America's youth. And the American people should also know that if Biden just sat on his ass while being vice president and didn't use his vice presidential power to make sure that the economy did not fall like it did, even though even with the fucking fact that Obama just did whatever he felt like doing, even while using taxpayers' money on flying across to other countries and other continents of bullshitting them by saying, on behalf of the American people and the United States of America, we apologize for anything that we have done that may have upset you. And many of the countries that he's done that to and voiced that to are the countries that we had no wartime conflicts with, even in this country's past, which basically showed that this country is once again weak under the Obama administration. It will be again weak a second time if Biden is put in the office. And never forget that Biden voiced a racial statement and comment during one of his rallies, even according to what was posted by Fox 35. And it was also said that Kamala Harris is racial against the African American community within the American population. And also, Biden was seen going like this, walking side by side with another person with not even a mask on, and it was shown on Instagram. And even Nancy Pelosi walked into a hair salon with no mask on. And yet we're the American people are being expected to wear a mask in every place of business that we go into. That be franchise, eatery, or otherwise, or even food market or pharmacy or any other business establishment. Yet, yet with that, Nancy Pelosi and Biden are showing it's expected of us to be mind manipulated to do that. But Biden, Chuck Schumer, and Pelosi don't have to. That's the message what the American people are getting. Women on the View, being that it's okay for the liberal Democrats to mind manipulate the American people, mind control the American people, but the liberal Democrats don't have to follow their same advice, their same, shall we say, thing that they put out for the American people to do. In addition, what the liberal Democrats want you to believe that the coronavirus is ongoing. It's still around. Yet when it came into the U.S., there was a small strain of it that came into the U.S. and a number of the percentage of the East Coast, aside from the West Coast, had high double-digit temperatures during the summer months, and the West Coast had triple-digit temperatures during the summer months. And it is said, even in the scientific aspect, that a strain that is exposed, a virus that is exposed to heat, is dead. It becomes dead, non-active. Yet, with all that, the liberal Democrats want to mind manipulate the American people still, in believing that the strain is still around, and also in believing that people have died. Yeah, many people do die, but I don't. I have a strong belief in that they didn't die due to the pandemic. They died in other aspects and causes, not due to the pandemic. Under Trump, the vaccine will be more than professionally and well tested. Under Biden, it won't be. Under Trump, there will be continuous amounts of employment opportunities. Under Biden, the employment opportunities will be slowly and gradually non-existent. Under Trump, our educational system will strengthen for our youth. Under Biden, it will weaken and require more funding, which they will lag on getting, if any percentage or any amount at all, to where they will expect the American people to donate, when the American people themselves will be struggling under Biden. In addition, with the population that's on currently supplemental security income will be out in the street once Biden destroys and dismantles the Social Security Administration, which makes the ad that I saw last night more than lies and deception towards the American people when it comes to Social Security system, saying that under Social Security, under the Biden plan, the people will that was my phone. The people will have increase in their income. What they're really not telling the American people is that Biden truly does intend to get rid of the Social Security Administration, where the income is null and void, non-existent as well, which means those who are about to retire will not be able to retire. Those who are newly retired will not be able to survive and be out in the street. Those who are currently retired and have been retired for some time now, especially, will be out in the street because they won't be able to pay their rent or mortgage or bills or even food shop. Under Biden, not even the developmentally disabled and diagnosed disabled and mentally handicapped and disabled, and the ones that are born with disabilities that have been independently living, especially on their own, will not be able to do any of that and be out in the street. And those who will eventually get to the point of having to retire will not be able to retire at all. Will end up having to work until they cannot work anymore, until they go 10 feet under, dead. That's what the Biden commercial is not telling you. And when it comes to various industries and in the employment aspect, the Biden plan wants you to believe that there'll be a double or triple increase in your income of pay. That's a load of shit, and he knows it. He doesn't even intend to do that. Biden doesn't even intend to defend and protect his country, even on the so-called unforeseen attacks that he claims that he will defend against, being that he will defend this country as he thinks that he'd be able to see unforeseen attacks, even the main attacks. That's delusional. There's no way a person can see an unforeseen attack put against or even upon the country in general, or any country for that matter. Under Biden, the stronger economic power will be China and Japan. It will no longer be It will no longer be the United States. Under Biden, it will be socialism and a rewritten constitution, which means the current constitution of we the people will be torn to shreds, and there'll be conflicts and newsworthy type debates. Even when it comes to the American people's rights and freedoms. Under Biden, there will be more corruption, more mental manipulation done towards and against the American people, even when it pertains to our youth. More lies and deceptions and non-action type promises, no action type promises, voiced by Biden and the Democratic Party. Do we want that, American people? Do you really want that? Do you really also want where Biden will completely weaken the military defense like Obama did, but maybe way worse than Obama did? More than likely, way worse than Obama did. Where taxes will raise even with the more undocumented people come across that border, being the illegals will be more and more illegals will come across that border, which will cost us more in taxes, where we will have to pay more than what we can really logically afford in this country. Biden doesn't mention that now, does he? He probably won't mention that in the debate tonight. Biden wants you to believe his bullshit, his delusional promises that he promises the American people, and that even Schumer thinks. Schumer is not for the American people. He's not about the American people. He's not in defense in any benefit towards and for the American people. Neither is Pelosi hasn't been either. So basically, they want the American people to believe their lies over what's real, what we really want and need and deserve, and what we really want and need and deserve. Trump will do for us. And with knowing that, the liberal Democrats will try to make us believe that Trump will not do what we want and need and deserve and what's beneficial for us. Schumer is right on one aspect, that they are working hard, so hard that they will try to deceive us even more, make us believe their lies and delusions even more. So much so that as if we can even think and decide for ourselves, that we have to depend upon the Democratic Party to decide for us. That's not a free country. That's not the vision of any aspect of American constitutional rights. That's the aspect of corruption and socialism. But the liberal Democrats want you to believe that it's not, when it really is the base of corruption and socialism by us expected to go by what they say versus what we feel and believe for ourselves, and what is protected by the Constitution and our rights and freedoms, and as if we have to be mind manipulated even more by the liberal Democratic Party, as if that's going to be the saving grace for the American people. It's not. What the saving grace for the American people is truth, honesty, everything that the Constitution defends and protects our rights and freedoms, and the true American way of life, and the liberal Democratic Party is going against that. But they don't want you to believe that they are going against that. In all, a vote for Biden is a vote for corruption, mind manipulation, socialism, and no jobs, no social security income, no protection and defense of this country and the American people, no positive, bright future for us as well as our youth. Nothing positive. But a vote for Trump is a more than well defended country, a positive, bright future for both the American people and our youth, all in one, in this country, in the same base. No socialism under Trump. No corruption under Trump. No lies and deception under Trump. No false promises. No, and there will be every action that he does will be in every action that Trump does will be in benefit for the American people and our youth and this country all in one. Biden can't promise that, and he knows that. He doesn't even intend to. He still thinks that we will believe his bullshit. Biden is riding the invincible horse of lies, deception, corruption, socialism, mind manipulation, and he wants us to follow him on that same aspect as if we're mind numbing, brainless zombies. And I know the American people are not that. I have more faith in the American people than Biden and even the Democrats will ever. I have more faith and belief in the American people and our youth that even the liberal Democrats and even Chuck Schumer has voiced, or even Nancy Pelosi has voiced especially. I have more faith and confidence in Trump in doing the strong, beneficial, positive thing for the American people in this country and our youth all in one. More and with that, I know that the liberal Democrats hate that. Well, guess what, Chuck Schumer? You want to fucking debate me? You want to talk with me and see what I have to say to you about you trying to convince me of shit when you won't be able to? Come on, try it anyways, Chuck Schumer. Come on. I invite Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Biden to convince me of otherwise. But as the old saying goes in the Western days, even on Back to the Future, they're too yellow, too chicken to even do that. They're too chicken to even come face to face with me, who has said, you fuck with the Constitution, you fuck with me. You fuck with our rights and freedoms, you fuck with me. You fuck with the positive, bright future for the American people and our youth, you fuck with me. You mentally manipulate the American people, liberal dumbass Democrats, you fucking fuck with me and you will lose. I and the American people and our youth and this country will win along with Trump. Trump has and always will be for and about the American people and this country and our youth. And I know it's not because he himself is a father and a grandfather, but it's the damn truth. Even if he wasn't a father or a grandfather, I know he would still be doing things that are beneficial for and about this country and the American people and our youth, all in one. Even if Trump wasn't a father and a grandfather, he would do things that he knows is right and beneficial for the American people, our youth in this country, all in one. Even if he was childless, he would still do that very same thing. Biden doesn't want you to believe he will do way worse than he supposedly already has. Biden thinks that he will do better for this country. He wants you to believe that as well. Yet he will only do better for the party, not the American people. Biden will do only better for the party, not the American people. Biden will only do beneficial things for the party, not the American people. Or our youth. And not even for this country. So when you watch when you watch the debate, American people, watch and listen to the deceptive lies and fake promises, fake unrealistic promises that Biden voices. That he believes himself, that he thinks that the American people will be so dumb, downed, and delusional to believe. And I know the American people are not delusional. I have faith and belief in the American people as well as I do in this country and our youth, and I have faith and belief in Trump to do more than beneficial things for the American people and our youth in this country. Under Trump, the Social Security income will still be strong and ongoing for the disabled, diagnosed disabled, mentally disabled, and physically handicapped and disabled will continuously be able to be independent and be able to do what they can to survive and make it through every month and year under Trump. Which means the administration of the Social Security Administration and the income will still be strong and ongoing. It will not be dismantled, but it will be dismantled under Biden. More jobs will come into this country under Trump. More jobs will leave this country under Biden, which means under Biden, the unemployment rate will go up. Under Trump, the unemployment rate will go down. Under Trump, the American people and this country and our youth are going to be more than well defended and protected, even in the military aspect of defense, of military action and defense against those who want to do us wrong and against those who want to hurt us. The economy will grow stronger under Trump. The economy under Biden will weaken as it did under Obama. The vaccine will be more than well tested and more than professionally tested before it's even brought to the American people. Under Biden, it will not be well tested, and it will put more than a health risk and harm to and against the American people and our youth and our senior citizen and disabled population. Under Biden, there'd be lack of funding even for the regional centers in in the state of California to start with. When it comes to earthquake and tornado relief, there'd be lack of funding even in that under Biden. But when it comes to earthquake and tornadic relief, the funding will be strong and ongoing to help rebuild and restructure and reassess the American people's lives that have been stricken by the earthquakes and also the tornado devastation. Everything that I've said positive and much, much more positive things, even for our youth's education, is going to be strengthened and more than beneficial under Trump. But under Biden, it will be weakened with more than lack of funding under Biden. This is C.R.P.H.A, humanitarian citizen advocate. Believe me on what I'm telling you. So the best choice for the American people and our youth and this country and the future for all of the American people and every one of our senior citizens, every one of our youth and the future for our senior citizens and the entire population of the American people, including for our youth, will be more than benefited and strengthened under Trump. It will be weakened under Biden. We will become the weakest country again, as we were under Obama. We will be weakened again under Biden. The strength, the strength, the strength of the economic power will go to China, Japan. It will no longer be the U.S. under Biden. That will not be so under Trump. The American, the United States of America will be strengthened economically under Trump, but it will not be strengthened economically under Biden, guaranteed. And do not believe any of the false bullshit lies that Biden will voice in the first debate to start. And do not believe any of the false bullshit mind manipulative commercials brought on air by Biden and his campaign. do not believe, and I'm saying this because I care about the American people. I'm saying this because I love this country. I love our youth. I have faith and strong belief and spiritual belief in our youth as well as the American people. And I have a strong belief and faith in Trump, even in a spiritual sense as well. So, Trump for 2020. Let's teach the liberal Democrats a lesson that they can never, ever mentally manipulate the American people by voting Trump. Let's teach the liberal Democrats they cannot deceive us and lie to us and say something that they believe to be true when they know it's not. And they don't even intend to do anything beneficial for the American people. But the only one that does more than intend to do things beneficial for the American people and our youth and this country is Trump. The ones that do not truly intend to do anything beneficial for our youth in this country and the American people are the Democrats. And that's the truth. This is C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian Citizen Advocate. Please stay strong and safe. And may Heavenly Father bless the United States of America. And may Heavenly Father bless our youth and the American people. And may Heavenly Father bless Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence. And Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence for 2020 as President and Vice President for the American people in the United States of America. And I salute our troops, both past and present, even the ones that were not able to make it home. And I thank you for your service. And I salute Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence and thank them for their service, and I will vote for them in 2020. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.